Swati, right?
Yes.
Swati, what is the meaning of your name?
So the meaning of my name, it is being derived from goddess Saraswati. It's one of the names of goddess Saraswati.
You come from Haryana, right?
Yes, sir.
And your surname is Phogat.
Yes, sir, Phogat.
So Phogat, sorry. Uh, so do you recognize anything? Because this is a very famous surname.
Yes, sir.
Can you?
Yes. The major wrestling players, Geeta Phogat, Babita Phogat and Vinesh Phogat, on their name and their achievements, the surname has become famous in India.
Coming from a state of Haryana, you're from Haryana? So coming from a state of Haryana, there is a huge disparity between the economic indicators in comparison to the socio-demographic indicators.
Yes.
Do you agree with the statement?
To an extent, I agree.
Okay. And if you agree with the statement, can you tell me why there is the disparity?
Sir, the disparity is often felt that just because the state is economically well, so that didn't transform to the social indicators. For example, sir, sex ratio of the state, it is at on the lower side.
What is it?
Sir, it is approximately 910. Recently, 2020-24 estimate. So the major, the major causes behind it. So they are often referred to as the patriarchal mindset among the society, and so the despite all the legal ways there, the female feticide is still there, and so the often females or the girls are considered as a burden due to the dowry system also. So these could be attributed the causes behind it.
So, as you mentioned about the declining sex ratio or maybe lower sex ratio in comparison, so what would be the maybe ill effect if the decline is continuous in long run?
So one of the ill effects I'm able to recall right now, it is the human trafficking could be there. For example, so right now a trend is also there with respect to brides because the mismatch is there. So the brides from Bihar and the surrounding states, they are there. Another could be the less representative of women, especially at the leadership levels and the policy making levels. So these two I'm able to see.
What is the female labor rate contribution in Haryana?
Not able to recall exactly.
Okay. Do you think it is above the national average or below national average?
Can be below national average. If I have to take a guess, I'm not sure actually about it.
You've put your home state as Delhi,
Yes, sir.
and why is that so?
The major conditions to choose the home state, I chose it as on the basis of my education qualification. I've done my graduation from Delhi and I've been staying here for last 4 or 5 years. So I felt that as my home state.
So Delhi, do you think Delhi has attributes of a capital city if we compare it with the other capital cities of the world?
Sir, it certainly has the attributes. And if I have to let you know or to convey some, one of them could be the cosmopolitan culture of the city. The people from different parts of our country. It actually represents the symbolic to the unity in diversity phrase that we attribute to country. And so another could be the infrastructure. These two.
So infrastructure can Delhi's infrastructure match with the developed countries' infrastructure?
There is scope of improvement will certainly there.
One of the major problems which Delhi witnesses, that is pollution in winters.
Yes.
And high AQI levels, air quality index level. Now, this is a common problem which every year repeatedly this is being discussed. So, now there are two levels of answer I would expect. The first is, what are the short-term measures you feel should be implemented right away to address this concern so that we don't see this in coming years? And what could be the long-term measures which can be implemented?
Sir, in short-term measures, first and foremost could be the industrial units. They can there's this perspective of desulfurization. that should be adhered to by the industrial units in the proximity. So another could be the focus on the e-vehicles more. And so next I am able to see is that construction works, the covering of the construction sites properly, that should be implemented. And so in the long term, the implementation of the schemes of like FAME India, the more CNG and the e-vehicles, specifically so public transport, that could be one of the solutions. And so next could be the awareness among the people of Delhi to switch to more eco-friendly and environmental friendly ways. For example, say carpooling or public transport instead of private, so that the traffic could be managed on the roads.
Do you think it is feasible? Because government has been trying, but there is no real solution out of these. Carpooling. Why people are going for carpooling? Or let's say if they are not going for carpooling,
Yes, sir.
so what attributes could you say? People still want to go with the cab. They don't want to do carpooling. Or for that matter, public transport infrastructure is not to the level one expects, except metro, we can say. So, what should be done in this situation? How do we change the behavior of the people?
Sir, what I is one of the foremost solution is the social nudge and the attitude change that has to be there. So we can take example from some other countries. For example, what I wish to say here is that promotion of the cycling attitude, or so the traveling if the office place is nearer. Sometimes people take their own private transport. So in Netherlands and some other countries, sir, it is the social behavior of the people which brings the major change in tackling the issues of pollution.
But coming to cycling, do you have the requisite infrastructure where people can cycle in Delhi?
The major intervention of state that has to be there, that the cycle lanes, the bike lanes, the ones which are available there that are actually not here. So collaboration of both people and the administration, that's needed.
Also, population is a big challenge because the kind of density population or we have on the road, that is much higher than what the capacity can actually absorb. That is also a challenge. So in that situation, how do we maybe change the coming urbanization in Delhi?
Sir, in the long term, as earlier you also asked and this also, sir, what I would like to propose or tell here is that, sir, the decentralization, especially with respect to industrial units, and the the society is, as we say, amping up in the different satellite towns around Delhi. For instance, sir, in Farooq Nagar, that's with respect to Gurugram. And so this way, the planning of the industries, that could be one of the major solutions for decongestion of Delhi.
So, if you tomorrow, if you get an opportunity to serve as an administrator in Delhi, so what challenges you feel that should be addressed so that the quality of life of common men gets better?
So first and foremost will be my interest area will be this pollution issue, as we also discussed. The attitude change, if I can bring by roping in some role models or influencers, the ones who are adopting this in their life. So that could be there. So another to improve the quality of life could be, sir, the food habits, if I can bring a change, especially with respect to, and the sir, less use of de-addiction of the youth also, that I would like to work on.
De-addiction, which area?
De-addiction with respect to more social media use, less outdoor activity, more indoor activities, this, because that has a foremost intellectual stagnation or corrosion, they are saying, of youth of the country.
Okay. Now, you've been a geography student throughout. Your optional is geography? Okay. And why was it chosen? Because it was a specialization subject that you followed?
Sir, I liked the subject and I had it in my graduation also. So I chose it as my option also.
So your birthplace is Haryana. So tell me something about Haryana, the geographical aspect, as you are from geography field.
Sir, if we talk about the geography of Haryana, first and foremost will be its location in the northern part or to the northwest of Delhi. Next will be, sir, the topography of the state. It begins from in the north from Shivaliks, lower Shivaliks, to then to plain areas, sir, Bhabar and Khadar region is there. And so as we come to the south, we can find the Aravallis and the sandy plains.
And about river?
Yes, sir, about rivers. So the eastern flank of the state is Yamuna River flows towards the eastern flank, and the other one or two other tributaries that we can find in Haryana are sir, Markanda, Tangri, these two, Sahibi, these two I am able to.
Is there any river named as Ghaggar in Haryana? So,
Northern part.
can you tell me something about Ghaggar? Which type of river or drainage system it is?
So Ghaggar's evolution is often referred with respect to Yamuna and they joined. And so other than that, it has depleted or the water quantity, it has more evolution over time and now the water quantity has reduced. This I am able to.
So it joins some any other river or sea, or it ends in land?
Sir, it ends in land. So not able to recall the precise location.
As you are from geography optional, okay, I'm also, okay, and I'm also a product of DU only. So can you tell me about the cryosphere of Earth and how the cryosphere has worked environmentally, helping the Earth to remain in a habitable planet? And right now it is melting due to global warming. So, what is the bad effect of those cryospheres?
Yes, sir. So the cryosphere denotes to the frozen ice and specifically the region of Arctic and Antarctic. And so over time, as you also mentioned, it is melting as a result of global warming. And so the impact is the release of the stored methane that is there in the cryosphere, and it's a long-term impact on the different atmospheric circulations. For example, sir, it has been seen that it affects the Atlantic Ocean circulation. Also, the have some indirect effect on El Nino, La Nina, and monsoon of India also, sir.
Recently, you saw the article about the Arctic ice melting, and Arctic region has become the largest carbon emitter rather than carbon sink. So, how the Arctic region was considered as carbon sink and in which way? And right now it has become carbon emitter. How?
So one of the ways Arctic was seen as the carbon sink was that it was the storehouse of some methane gas. Next, sir, as ice, it has one of the highest albedos. So it was reflecting back it was the negation of the heating of it wasn't leading to heating of the atmosphere, as we say the global warming is there. And sir, next you asked about the impact of Arctic.
Ice melting.
Yes.
And Arctic region has become the carbon emitter rather than carbon sink. You mentioned about the methane. And what about the carbon emission in Arctic and carbon sink? How the Arctic is emitting carbon?
Sir, it could be deduced to the stored over time plant and animal species. In that way, CO2 could be stored over time and now that is getting released.
How?
This I am able to deduce.
How it was stored in plants and animals?
So plants use carbon dioxide as part of their photosynthesis process.
So, geography in graduation also and in MA also. You have done MA from where? Kurukshetra University. Regular or
MSc.
correspondence? Correspondence. BA to MA.
BA from Kamala Nehru College.
Then it will be MA.
Sir, they give MSc degree. Kurukshetra University.
You have not seen the degree carefully. Because if you are granted degree in BA, then you will get MA. If you are granted degree in BSc, then you will get MSc.
Sir, even I was intrigued, sir. But when I confirmed it's a degree of MSc in geography they have given in Kurukshetra.
Might be.
Basically, it is MA only, sir.
Yeah.
They give MA.
Those who are having MA, they get MA, and those who are having BSc, they give BSc, MSc. So no matter, it's the discretionary power of university. Thinkers. Have you heard about thinkers and read about them?
Yes, sir.
So, two thinkers are there in morphology. One is Davis and one is Penck. And they have given which theory? Contribution to morphology.
Sir, they have given a theory with respect to the evolution of landforms over time.
So, tell me something about Davis, about his theory.
Sir, according to Davis, the process or the theory, the cycle revolves around the fact that there is this rise of landforms in the first stage, and over time, with respect to the actions of the atmosphere, they declined. This I am able to see.
And Penck.
Sir, the major difference between the way the Penck differs from Davisian views is that they do not erupt. The landforms, they are not there as Davis has assumed that they are there. So he is also taking into account how they evolve over time and rise and become the high landforms, and then they deplete over time.
So, can you name the stages of Penck cycle of erosion?
Sir, not able to recall the terms.
You have heard about Alexander von Humboldt and Immanuel Kant in geographical thought. You have studied. So, tell me the difference between these two scholars and their contribution in geography. How they contributed in geography and in which aspect?
Sir, it is often seen that Alexander von Humboldt, he contributed to the theme of physical geography. And so he mentions how the study of geography revolves more around the study of the physical features. And so, on the contrary, Kant says that it is we as geographers should not neglect the field of human geography also. So, geography is not only about the study of physical features, but the impact they have on the human activities.
So, you mentioned human geography. Who is the father of modern human geography?
Sir, if you allow, may I take a guess?
you can.
Yes, sir. Sir, Ritter or Kant. Sorry, sir.
So, let's move on to the environmental aspect. As the polar ice is melting, what are its impact going to be done on ocean currents, and how the ocean currents are contributing in maintaining the global balance of temperature, and their impact on global shipping and fishing industry?
Sir, as you mentioned about the melting of ice, so there are two types of currents, warm currents and cold currents. So, sir, the cold currents are ones that flow from polar region towards the equatorial region. So, as the ice is melting, so the temperature which affects or influences the constituency and the cold waters that these currents bring to the equatorial regions, that will get hampered, sir, the temperature levels. So, other than that, so the total influence of this change in the currents, that could be, so as the ice is also melting, see the incoming of more oceanic routes, so sea routes from Arctic, that has been anticipated, that the accessibility will be more. And so next you asked about the influence of currents on shipping and fishing. So fishing, as we also say that where the oceans, cold currents and warm currents meet, they are the major shipping regions of the earth. So that will also get hampered as the cold currents won't be as strong as their major regions of Arctic melt that will be there.
Tell me something about COP29, which took place in Baku, and its outcome, merits and demerits, how it is going to impact the developing countries and how it is going to impact the developed countries, who is going to be benefited and who is going to be negatively affected or benefited.
So the COP29 which took place at Baku, so the foremost impact that I have seen, that the consensus it failed to reach with respect to the garnering of the funds for specifically, sir, the major countries which are going to be affected by climate change. And so that will have a major negative effect on the developing countries as the fund crunch will be there. And specifically, sir, SIDS, as small island developing countries, they will be the worst affected. And as far as that we see the impact on developed countries, sir, it has been seen that the action from there, especially with respect to this generation of funds and tech transfer, that is not up to the mark. So they won't be affected positively or negatively in any sense as a result of this COP29.
Okay. There is one more conference which is about to take place, that is COP15 this year. What is this COP15 and in which respect it will take place?
Sir, if I am right, it is with respect to combat desertic UNCCDs.
Basically, it is on wetlands.
COP, you said
15
15.
this year, June.
I'll read about it, sir.
Wetland convention used to take place every agreement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then after BRICS. Heard about BRICS?
Yes, sir.
Last year the summit took place. And in last summit BRICS, new nations has been included as members.
Yes, sir.
Like Egypt, UAE, Iran, all these. And we have talked about the trade among the BRIC nations in their home currency rather than dollar. So decreasing the supremacy of dollar.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? The addition of these nations is going to give power to BRICS nation, BRIC group, and this agreement, or you can say the work of trading in national currencies, is going to affect dollars.
Sir, the addition of the different other members to BRICS, that will certainly leverage BRICS as a group, and especially with respect to the BRICS currency, as you mentioned, sir. So it is at very incipient stage. They have only agreed to it, but sir, it totally depends on the collaboration and how the other countries will process or the currency will be finalized. And sir, it will certainly have an effect on the decrease in dominancy of dollar, use of dollar globally.
Okay. You have read about geopolitics in geography? BA or MSc? In graduation or post graduation? Graduation, geopolitics. So tell me something about geopolitics. And is India is doing geopolitics in world, and how it is benefiting India?
Yes, sir. So geopolitics, as the term is made up of two words, geo plus politics. So when the geography of a region, especially its location, topography, resources, they affect the political policies of the country, especially with respect to its international relations with other countries. So in that way, it could be termed as geopolitical policies. And as you mentioned about India, so geopolitically, we are engaging with other countries, leveraging our location with respect to the Indian Indo-Pacific region. So in that way, the geopolitics comes into place. And so we can also leverage, or we are leveraging on the basis of accessibility to different sea routes. So that way,
Some examples of geopolitics which India have did in past years. Some activity, something.
Andaman and Nicobar, the location of Andaman and Nicobar, that we are leveraging to come up as major ports in future. So logistical ports and shipping routes that will affect our relation with other countries and trade also.
Any others? About development of Chabahar port, development of
Ports.
Afghanistan,
Yes.
helping
Tapi
Afghanistan.
pipeline.
Okay. Recently, the MHA has recalculated the coastlines of India. And the coastline of India, which was earlier 7,500 kilometers, has been increased by 1.5 times. What is the new revised coastline, total coastline of India, and which state coastline has increased and which decreased?
So the revised coastline is around 11,000 kilometers. And so the state which has benefited from it is Gujarat, as I'm able to see.
Okay.
And this state which has depleted or
Only
contracted.
Gujarat has been benefited or some other state also?
So other will also be there, but the one I'm sure of is Gujarat, sir. And so depletion may, I think it is West Bengal.
Let me correct you. West Bengal area has been increased by 300%. It was 157 and presently it is 715. The decreased length is of Puducherry, that is 4.69 kilometers. It has been decreased. And Gujarat, West Bengal, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, they have got the increase. Okay. What do you think, why we have recalculated the coastline and what was the need to again redemarcate the length of coastline and increasing them? Is there any some strategically important thing what we have did by increasing the coastline and how it will benefit us?
The development of technological advancements, the measures have changed, or the tech, on the basis of that we could see that our total now is around 11,000 kilometers. And so as far as the positives are there, so it defines the territorial waters of a country, sir, with respect to, as the baseline is based on the basis of the coastline, sir, then the territorial waters, and further, sir, the EEZ. So that's a fact.
I want to what is EEZ and how it will help us?
EEZ is the approximate from the baseline 200 kilometers expense, 200 nautical miles expense, sir. And so that's economic zone where we have sovereign right to explore the economic resources in the seabed of that region.
What about others? Are they allowed to explore those resources or not?
Sir, in EEZ? Sir, I think it is the decision of the country. It depends on us if we allow others to.
Means that part of sea is technically ours. And beyond that, it will be international water. Okay, very good. Last question. I will ask you, I will not give you more trouble in geography. But give me a short brief about the Indian physiography from north to south.
Yes, sir. Sir, as we proceed from the north of India, it is, sir, the Himalayas in the north and the three divisions. So Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Outer Himalayas. Post that, as we come to south, then comes the plains of, in the west, it is in the Indus Plains and Satluj.
You have left about the Trans Himalayas. What about the Ladakh region? Is it not the part of India?
So that is certainly part of India. And the northern limit begins with Trans Himalayas then. Post that, the Himalayas and the three divisions. And so post that, the plain region of Indus, Ganga, and in the east to Brahmaputra. And as we come further south, before the incoming of peninsular plateaus, it is Aravalli Range in the west, and then the peninsular plateau, and followed by the coastal plains of western and eastern, and lastly the island countries, island region of Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar.
Okay. You didn't mention about the Vindhya, Satpura, Narmada Rift Valley, all these things.
Sir, as a whole, I think I said Peninsular Plateau. If you would have asked, then I would have mentioned all these.
Basically, I asked you to brief from north to south. Peninsular Plateau and Vindhya and Satpura. Basically, Peninsular Plateau starts from south of Satpura. And you left the section of India between northern plains and the Peninsular Plateau. The central plateau region. Kathiawad, Malwa,
Chota Nagpur. Apologies, I missed it.
Purvanchal Hills. Have you heard about them?
Yes, sir.
So why they are known as Purvanchal Hills? And where they are present?
With respect, the name is there with respect to their location, sir. As they are located in the northeast of the country, and so the major ones are Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, and so from other could be, but sir, Naga, Manipur, and so these are part of extended. These are considered extended part of Himalayas. So
Arrange the easternmost Purvanchal Hills from north to south, starting from Mismi Hills.
Dafla, Miri, Abor, Mishmi, that's in the north of Arunachal, that coming north you are saying. After that, sir, Naga, then Manipur, I am able to see. And so lastly, in the south, that's Lusai, if we can see.
You have considered Delhi as your permanent place.
Home state.
Yeah. So, tell me, Delhi is located on Aravalli or not? Aravalli is present.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which part? Delhi Ridge area. Till where it extends?
In the north or towards the south, sir. From ridge. Yes,
From
sir.
ridge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From ridge, that's often marked as the northern extent to Gujarat, sir, till Porbandar.
And in south, the end of Aravalli in Delhi is where?
So not able to see.
If Delhi is on Aravalli, so our president house and parliament is also on Aravalli. You have been to Mughal Garden, which is known as Amrit Udyan. Okay. So on which part of Aravalli the old parliament and our president house are located? And that part of Aravalli is known as which hill?
Sir, is it Raisena?
Rayasena or Rayalaseema?
Rail. Sir, what? Yes, sir. Sir, Rayalaseena. Rayalaseema is different place.
Where it is?
Sir, Chota Nagpur relative.
Okay. Quite good. Now I am transferring to sir.
Okay, Swati, last few questions. You mentioned about EZ, right? So when this EZ is shared with other countries, let's say Bangladesh, or for that matter Sri Lanka, then how do we address that?
So the legal aspect.
Yes, the legal aspect.
Sir, this is recognized on the basis of the Treaty of UNCLOS, sir. On the basis of that. Each country has their own demarcated EZ, and if any issue arises, then we can address it with respect to the principles that are mentioned in.
Okay, so in that, what rule do we have in respect to Bangladesh? How do we demarcate that this is a Bangladesh EZ and this is India's EZ?
So every country has a demarcation. This I am not able to see that they have their own EZ, we have our own. But earlier there was some issue with respect to a particular island there, sir. They were considering that part of their own EZ. But when the two EZs coincide, sir, in that case the right extends to both of them.
Both of them?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure about this statement?
Sir, because that particular island, that accessibility was to India also and Bangladesh also.
What is Thalweg principle?
Apologies, sir.
So recently now Mr. Trump has started the trade war.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think that impact India might have?
Sir, as we first and foremost see with respect to the tariffs that he's threatening the other countries with. So that could have an impact on our own trade, the exports, as we have a positive surplus with US. That might decrease over time. And sir, on diaspora, his immigration policies also, sir. Our diaspora will also be impacted, and the market hold they have on the basis of which our exports are there to US. These I'm able to say.
So recently, Mahakumbh right now is happening, and so can you share your insight on religious and cultural tourism and the emergence that we are witnessing in recent times?
So Mahakumbh has been accolated in the worldwide as it is seeing tourists from all over world. And sir, it certainly has a major role in tourism, sir, because it has been estimated that around 12 lakh crores, that will be the estimate benefit monetarily in economic terms. And for instance, the funds that they've allocated in organizing it is around 2,000, sir. So it certainly has an impact on the tourism and benefiting the state economically also.
Okay, fair enough. Check the data. Data are on the higher side.
So 12 lakh crores.
12 lakh crores is almost 5% of GDP. That is way too huge. It is around 1.6 lakh crore. If 40 crore devotees.
So that's a fabricated figure I read. I actually read it yesterday only, sir.
Let's check that data.
Yes, I'll certainly check.
So overall, Swati, it was a decent performance, I would say. One thing I saw was that when you were interacting with one panel member, you were not, the eye contact was missing with other panel members. Now that is very important part. So because you can follow 80-20 ratio, 80% with whom you are interacting, and 20% you have to look at other people so that you can engage them as well in the conversation.
Yes, sir.
Though they are not asking the question. Basic communication looked fine. The performance, as I mentioned, was decent. And what is the date of review?
3rd March.
Sir, grilled you in depth about the geography questions.
Sir, I need to read a lot.
Yes.
I need to revise.
So
I didn't revise after prelims, sir. I need to revise.
I am not telling about that, but actually, as you are student of geography, basically DU means regular course, and they used to grill you from 9 to 5. Am I right? Means even you are not going to get the time for yourself also, if I am not wrong.
Yes.
As I was the student of year system, and you are student of semester system. Little bit ease, and even I have not took you in the conceptual part of the climatology. So little bit conceptual clarity is needed, because the person who will sit there might be a professor from DU only. He can be, or any central university, and you know the professors of geography. They love the subject as you love the subject, and some conceptual clarity is needed. Like Alexander von Humboldt, he is considered as father of modern geography. So Immanuel Kant, thinkers. Then after, go through the thinkers of all the approaches. As because of due to crunch of time, you are having another interview scheduled. Quantitative approach, qualitative approach, feminism, determinism, neo-possibilism, their approaches. Then after, you can say about the ocean currents and global warming effect, climate change,
Yes.
present scenario, and what you think as an administrator how to develop them. And the current issues since last 2 months, many current events has came and the new discoveries about the nature and environmental sense. You have to be on a good hand,
Yes.
as because you are having optional as geography, they will need you, that you are going to be a person who can clear them. They will not demand it or accept it from other students because they are not having the base.
Yes, sir.
As you are having the base, they will have expectations from you
Yes, sir.
that you should satisfy them with your answers regarding to global warming and all the implications.
Yes, sir.
Rest confidence level was very good. You will make it in the final list. Yes, don't worry. And most probably, in top 150. You will succeed. Keep this and do only this much corrections.
Yes, sir, I'll read.
Basically.
It was good overall.